So yeah, welcome back to The Last of Us Part 2. This must be part 30 odd, 40 odd by now. I was pretty speechless at the end of the last part, purely because we had that, I hope, the last fight with Abby. That's why she's lost a couple of fingers. Realistically, I think that fight was kind of unnecessary. It makes a lot more sense if you watched it, so I'm not going to kind of go fully into it, but everything's kind of taken a... Oh, Jesus. Dark twist. So yeah, this is where she was with Dina and the baby. They must have packed up and moved off. Don't know where to. But yeah, everything's gone. Yeah, this game, it started off alright, then started getting darker. And then, you know, it was an alright dark kind of thing with some nice bits kind of thrown in there. And this is just taken, you know, this is a much darker game than I originally thought it'd be. And I don't know how long they've been gone for. But I mean, it's almost like a layer of dust over everything. That started coming off the wall. Everyone's gone, and yeah, everything's decrepit. So it could have been months, years. No one knows. I'll shush now. Okay.
What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Where'd you get that?
Those people that came through last week.
Oh.
A little embarrassed as to what I had to trade to get it, but I'm back.
I had Seth under control.
Yeah, I know.
And you need to stop harassing Jesse about my patrols.
Okay.
That was just one kiss. It doesn't mean anything. She just... I don't know why she did that.
But you do like her. I have no idea what that girl's intentions are, but I do know that she would be lucky to have you.
You're such an asshole.
I'm not trying to.
I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life would have fucking mattered. But you took that from me.
If somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
Okay. I'll see you around.
Yep.
Wow. I don't even know how to sum up my thoughts at the minute. I mean, I've been making them fairly clear as we've kind of gone along. You know, it started off kind of light-hearted almost, I would say. You know, there was a lot of, oh, she kissed her, he kissed him, whatever, that kind of stuff. Then it started getting a bit darker. Obviously, it had a huge spoiler, huge death with Joel, which obviously impacted the rest of the story. I mean, the thing that I really like, I mean, obviously you had the kind of split. You had Ellie's perspective and you had Abby's perspective, and their stories were interlinked all the way through it. You know, you had some of the backstories, some of the stuff like that, which did kind of lighten the tone a little bit. You know, it wasn't all dark all the way through it. But then towards the end, especially, you had the kind of like, you had the climax in the theater, for example. That for me was a culmination point of everything that they'd been alluding to. And then you saw it from both perspectives, so you didn't know whose side to be on. And then they kind of pitted you one against another. And for me, that was tough. That was really tough, because it was kind of like you know, it almost made you choose a side, and you played through it as both people, so you could see, you know, why each of them was so angry. And obviously, you know, playing as Joel through pretty much the entire first game, that kind of made you almost, I don't know, you almost kind of felt as if you were Joel for the most of it. And then when Joel got killed off, then you had Ellie, and Ellie was your main character. And then for them to kind of throw Abby into the mix, you kind of then went, well, this is a new character. Why should I trust them? Why should I believe them? Why should I kind of worry about their perspective on everything? And then as you went along, you kind of got it. You were like, yeah, she's got a little group. She's just getting revenge for her dad, which, you know, in itself shouldn't have done really, but you kind of understood her motives through it. And I don't know, I mean, the culmination in the theatre for me, that should have been a stop point almost. Then as it went onto the farm scene, you were kind of like, right, okay, fair enough, she's getting on with her life. And that would have been a perfect ending for that game. But they didn't end it there. They kind of went on to Santa Barbara, and then for me, that was almost like a step too far, if you get what I mean. You know, it's kind of like they didn't need it. It was unnecessary. And having the Rattlers, there wasn't enough backstory there to make you care about who the Rattlers were. It was a completely different faction that you didn't have any clue who they were. You know, you didn't have this whole, you know, you had the Seraphites or the Scars against the Wolves, or the the Washington Liberation Front. And you kind of understood both fronts. You kind of understood the why they're against each other, and you had a little bit of a backstory there. But the Rattlers, they were just there, and they didn't explain anything about it. They just kind of went, yeah, these are some bad guys, fight them. Which is why I kind of avoided fighting them, if I'm being 100% honest. I didn't know enough about them to kind of go, right, yeah, I do want to kill them all. If they would have led up to it a little bit more, maybe pointed to what they were using the people for, etc., etc., that would have made a lot more sense. You know, you would have been glad to kind of take the time and kill them, not kind of rush to the end point. Especially when you thought you were at the end, and you thought this was just going to be a very quick 5-minute job, which turned into I think, possibly for me, 2-3 parts, I'm not too sure. And then that showdown at the end, that was, for me, wholly unnecessary. They didn't need that in it. You know, Abby had grown as a person and almost let them live, kind of thing. And that should have been enough for all of them. You know, Ellie got her revenge and killed all of her friends, so she knew the loss that she felt from losing Joel. And, you know, she nearly lost Dina in the process, and of course at the end she did, but in a completely different way. And she had everything. She had everything at the end. She had her own little home. She had Dina. She had Baby, which we still don't know the name of. Baby could have been called Jessie or Joel or anything, and that would have been adorable. And, you know, she had the farm, of course, Tommy came across and then kind of upset the things, and she could have just let that rest. And I know it's easy saying, yeah, she could have let it rest, when if it was my dad or any kind of like, you know, father figure, I would have been of the same kind of thing. I wouldn't have wanted her to get away with it. Now, when she saw her up there on, let's say, the crucifix kind of thing, what did they call them? The pillars. With her being on there, there's two different ways they could have ended that. They could have had it where she cut her down and let her go, in which case you've shown that Ellie is almost grown as a person and not kind of giving into the whole revenge kind of thing. Almost showed the upside of, yeah, you can get revenge if you want, but you don't need to. Or she could have left her up. You know, she could have left her up, let her suffer with how things were. She made this bed, now she has to lie in it. She doesn't have any friends because Ellie doesn't have any friends. You know, Ellie essentially lost Tommy in one sense. She lost Jesse. She lost Joel. And then she had to suffer with it. So, for me, the game was great. All the way through. And then at the end, they kind of scuppered it. You know, they almost took it too far. It went too dark. It got a little bit too far into it. And I think realistically, it just didn't need that whole last act. And it would have still been a very strong, very good game without any of that. I mean, for example, on screen it shows there WLF Militia and the Seraphites, and the Rattlers are just chalked down to additional voices because they didn't really matter. They didn't really make a massive impact in there. You know, and for me, the story itself is really strong. I'm not going to disrespect the story making, the storytelling rather, and I'm not going to disrespect any of the visuals, the combat. I'm not going to disrespect any of it because I thought it was all phenomenal. The only criticism that I have is that last act was unnecessary. Anything after the farm was unnecessary. They could have left it at that, and it would have been an amazing game for it. You know, I don't know who agrees with me, I don't know who disagrees with me, but that's what I think. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with the credits. You know, I'm going to keep them running because essentially the amount of people that worked really hard on this game, they deserve the recognition. And even though it's only maybe 2-3 people that might watch this video, you know, maybe down the line someone else might want to watch it. If you want to listen to me drone on, that is. But again, a couple of people seeing these names, I'm all for that. So I'm going to let the credits run. But have a good rest of the day. This is me finishing The Last of Us Part 2. I hope they do come out with a Part 3, because I will be playing that as well. I think I'm going to be having this running at the same time as Ghost of Tsushima, just purely because of how long it's been running. And on one of my previous parts you'll see that I've had it installed as well, so... But there we go. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Anything you can do to help support me means that I can spend more time on videos like this. Give my opinions more, like this. And hopefully you guys enjoy. If not, just let me know why. You know, just pop in there any criticisms that you have, as long as they're constructive. Anything you think I can improve on. Anything you want to see me do more, if you want longer parts or anything like that. But there we go. Ta-ra.
much I go. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way is rough and steep, but beauteous fields lie just before me, where God's redeemed their vigils keep. I'm going there to see my father. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm just a going over Jordan. I'm just a going over home.
I'll soon be free from earthly trial. This body red in the old churchyard. I'll drop this cross of self